Cam is the kind of open-source project that makes a good thumbnail and a bad feeling. The official README describes real-time face swap and one-click video deepfake with only a single image. That is not science fiction. That is a public repo with more than 90,000 stars. This video is a safety teardown, not an abuse tutorial. The question is not how to misuse it. The question is how normal people recognize the trust problem it creates. The repo claim is direct. Real-time face swap. Video deepfake. One image. The homepage and README package it as easy and accessible. That is why it belongs in a broad visual experiment for TechWealth Hub. It is not another coding agent. It is a tool that viewers immediately understand because the impact is visual, personal, and a little scary. The official project also includes a responsibility warning. It says users must act responsibly and legally. If using a real person face, obtain consent and clearly label any shared output as a deepfake. That warning matters, but warnings do not remove risk. They just tell you the authors know the risk exists. Once a tool is easy enough, safety depends on the habits of people seeing the output. The real danger is not a perfect Hollywood fake. The danger is a believable enough fake in a high-pressure moment. A video call from a boss. A dating app verification. A fake interview. A family emergency scam. A crypto or wire request. People do not need to be fooled forever. They only need to be fooled long enough to make one bad decision. The defensive angle is practical. Look for artifacts around the eyes, teeth, hairline, jaw, and ears. Ask for a side profile. Ask the person to put a hand across part of the face. Change the lighting. Ask them to turn quickly, pause, and speak a random phrase. Real-time swaps often struggle when the face is occluded, angled, or lit differently from the source image. The bigger habit is verification outside the call. If money, credentials, private photos, hiring decisions, or urgent account access are involved, do not trust the live video alone. Confirm through a separate channel you already know. Call back through a saved number. Use a shared phrase. Slow down the moment. Deepfake scams work because urgency makes people skip boring verification. The line for this video is important. Do not turn it into a setup tutorial. Do not show the full operational path. Do not optimize the output. Do not teach bypasses. A responsible teardown can still be visual by using official source claims, safety warnings, and artifact analysis. The viewer should leave more prepared, not more capable of abuse. That is the difference between covering a risky tool and advertising it. The highest risk scenarios are ordinary. A fake recruiter on a video interview. A fake executive asking finance to move money. A romance scammer passing a quick face check. A fake support agent asking for screen share access. A creator impersonation in a private community. These do not need perfect deepfakes. They need enough realism, enough urgency, and a victim who does not slow the moment down. The platform response has to be boring and consistent. Consent for source faces. Labels for synthetic media. Watermarks where possible. Verification flows for high-risk actions. Education around artifacts. Better reporting tools. None of that sounds as exciting as the demo, but it is what actually reduces harm. The final message is not never trust video. The final message is never let video be the only proof when the stakes are high. The viewer action is to build a personal verification rule now, before a stressful call happens. Decide which requests always require a second channel: money, passwords, identity documents, private photos, job offers, or emergency help. Decide who you will call back through a saved number. Decide which phrase only your real friend, coworker, or family member would know. Deepfake detection is useful, but procedure is stronger. A calm rule beats a panicked guess. Final scoring is simple. The video succeeds if viewers become harder to scam without learning how to create better fakes. Safety content should raise friction for attackers and confidence for normal people. My verdict is uncomfortable but useful. Deepfakes did not win because they became perfect. They won because they became easy enough to show up in normal workflows. The answer is not panic. The answer is consent, labeling, skepticism, and practical checks. If someone pressures you to trust a video call instantly, That pressure is the first red flag.